I always say this, and I said it to your face when I saw you months ago at a convention. I'm so glad to see you alive. You had uh, danced with death. There are a lot of people out there that don't know about this. So I wonder if you could give a short um, story about what went on with you and where you are with that today.
Right. Well, Bill, in probably started in about 2017, I started having a lot of problems on this side of my throat. And like razor blades I swallow. I go to a doctor, he kept saying, "There's nothing wrong with you, you're fine. Let me give you a shot and you'll be all right next week." Well, finally it got to where, Bill, I was actually spitting up blood. Whenever you're spitting up blood, there's a serious problem.
Yes.
I went into my doctor and I said, I need a reference to get to see an ENT specialist, ear, nose, and throat specialist. He said, I refuse to give you a recommendation or a referral. You're not going. About that time, Bill, I jumped up in his face and got about this far from his nose. Me and him was in a pretty heavy argument. And his office manager said, I will send a referral now. So I got the referral. I got in there. They told me I had cancer. I had a tumor from up to my ear, and my throat is the size of a baked potato.
Oh boy.
And they told my son Jaron was with me then. He'd come up and was staying with me. You know, my sons Dylan and Jaron live in North Carolina, where I lived for years, but I'm back in my hometown, Chillicothe. But long story short, I went in, I had treatments, I had radiation, I had chemotherapy. I have a slinky spring now in my throat because after all that went on, I was sitting at home one morning. I woke up with a mouthful of blood. I spit it out. I didn't know that an artery had ruptured in my throat. Well, by the time I got to the hospital, which was an hour away, they said, "What life flight did you come in on?" I said, "I didn't come in on a life flight." They said, "Well, when that busted, you only have 6 minutes to live." And I lived an hour after that and then got a procedure done where this slinky spring is now in my throat holding my arteries together. I just realized recently, while meeting with my doctor, that I have been given the limitation of a human being can get with radiation. They gave me so much. They said we had to kill you to heal you.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have scars
Yeah.
all around me here
Yeah, we
from
can
the
see that.
radiation
Right.
and the chemotherapy. And Bill, I've almost died about 6 times, or should have been. What people say, you should have been dead, and the doctor said you should be dead. By the grace of God, I'm here visiting my friend Bill,
That's great.
and I'm going out doing things, seeing people. I can't talk right, but if I can get Bill Apter to stand behind me, I can kind of sing just like Frank Sinatra or Elvis Presley or
Oh, you heard me
talk
doing
like
that
Jerry
stuff.
Lewis.
All right. The Jerry Lewis, sir? Okay, we got that. I'm so glad to see you alive
Thank you.
and with us here. So now let's get down to this great event that is coming up
Yes.
soon. Tell everybody what it's called, where it is, the date, and
Yes, sir. My father started a company back in, well, as a matter of fact, it started in 77 when I started. And me and him promoted wrestling for years. Even when I wrestled for the major companies and stuff, we still promoted. And he's passed now, but and Dylan, I had been promoting shows and stuff, but Dylan Hines, my son, said, "Dad, I'm ready to take this thing to another level. Just not promoting wrestling shows, but doing a fan fest and a super show like what we're going to see March 11th in Chillicothe, Ohio, at the OUC Shoemaker Center. Our company is world classic because I told Dylan, I said, Dylan, it's world classic. They're professional. It's big time wrestling. I grew up watching big time wrestling. A lot of people don't realize it. Back in the day, in the 50s, a lot of the wrestling, whether it was for Royshire in San Francisco or whatever, was show big time wrestling.
Yeah.
So to me, that was my is it homage or my
Yeah.
my that is why we've been big time wrestling since 1977. As far as the company name, Hines Family Promotion, which I'm really Jimmy Hines in real life, but this show is we're doing, Bill. This is our fourth one, I believe.
Yes.
That's had tremendous crowds. Normally, we'll draw anywhere from around 3,500 people, and that is unheard of today in wrestling.
Oh well, and
Especially-
you've got at the Fan Fest. I
Yeah.
mentioned I will be there, but super megastar Sting
Yeah,
will
Sting.
be there. Rob Van Dam,
Yes, sir.
Devon Dudley. Give us some of
Yes.
the other people.
Luke, the Bushwhacker Luke.
Yeah.
We have the Nasty Boys. What we do is we have a nostalgia type show, Bill. We
Yes.
even got Brett Wayne Sawyer.
Yeah, Brett Sawyer, who is the brother of
Buzz.
Buzz Sawyer. Right? I couldn't
Yeah.
spit out my Buzz.
Back in the day, on Saturday night when TBS was rocking and rolling Georgia Championship Wrestling, later
605.
became world's at 605. Everybody that loved wrestling was watching that Georgia station, which developed Wildfire, Tommy Rich, of course, and so many. But we also got Tommy Young is coming.
One of the great referees of all time, Hall of Fame referee.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, we have a Ohio Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in which Tommy's going to be inducted into that. And what that is for the Ohio wrestling, it's those that's either from or near Ohio that's contributed to the history
Sure.
and the liking
Sure.
of professional wrestling.
Now the
you
big
know.
thing here is that the fans can get up and close and personal
Yes,
and get autographs,
Yes.
Get photo opportunities and all that. And and then there's a main event on the show that night
yes.
that's going to be incredible. Tell them what that is.
It's Rob Van Dam versus Charlito. We have 11 matches total. We have Shane Douglas. I'm trying to think right off the top. We got him wrestling. So many guys wrestling.
You're going to be involved in a match with Arn Anderson and his son,
Yes.
but
And
not in
Ricky
the ring.
and his
Arn's
son.
not going to be in the ring.
No. Me, Arn, and Ricky Morton will not be in the ring, but I will tell you this. There's a history there with the Horsemen and the Rock and Roll Express and the Fantastic.
Yes.
And our three sons are getting in the ring. And the National Wrestling Alliance, Billy Corgan, and them have sanctioned this match as a National Wrestling Alliance World Junior Heavyweight title match. Terry will defend his title against not just one person, but two other people.
And that's
meaning
by the way, for you fans watching, that's Kerry Morton, the son of Ricky.
Terry Morton, Terry,
Yes.
who is a tremendous wrestler.
Oh yeah.
But Terry, he don't have his hands full because my son is making his debut, and Brock Anderson is making a name for himself.
Yeah.
So
Arn's
the
son.
eyes of the wrestling world, as the Von Erich, Sherry Von Erich used to say, the eyes of the wrestling world is going to be upon the whole show, but this match in particular.
Well, that's why I got to be there.
Yeah. And Bill, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be action-packed, but I just want to say this right now. It's one thing when I'm in the ring wrestling, and when Arn's in the ring wrestling, when Ricky's in the ring wrestling, but it's another thing when our flesh and blood is in there.
Sure.
So there's no doubt tempers are going to flare. Katie bar the door, as they used to say, Molly gets a mop. Something's going to happen in that match, definitely. And I'm prepared for anything.
All right.
Because like I said, I can think of no better thing in the world than for my son, Darren Fulton, to walk out of that ring in his debut match as the National Wrestling Alliance World Junior Heavyweight Champion.